We'll do it again later.
Yeah, okay. So we have these, and we only have 16 of them. There's more than that many people here, so I'm thinking we pass one out to maybe every 2 or 3 people, and you guys can look at them together. Is that cool? Sure. So what I want to do is first, just maybe try to even it out so people can see one, and we'll get a copy of this for everybody. Basically what this is this covers what our whole sales funnel looks like. Okay, and what the purpose of everything is. And I actually thought this was brilliant because I didn't come up with making this. It was, I think, Mars or Rob or something. I looked at this and I was like, wow, this explains our whole business in 5 pages. I've never had something like that. You know what I mean? It's like I always need 8 hours of videos to explain this. But in any case, what I want to do for you guys, for everybody on the live stream, is actually cover how everything in our sales process works, what the purpose of everything is, all right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to strategize together and start remaking sales videos, okay? Which once again, what we'll do is we'll test against our other sales videos and see if they work better. I actually think we can get them to work better, especially if we put all of our minds into it, because you guys can all, I've never actually made a sales video for the Inner Circle while everybody's throwing ideas out on things that will help sell it. So I'm excited about that. And we've also got social proof. We're also in a mansion. So I think they'll work better, but I don't know. Maybe we'll make something that's amazing and all the reps will love it, but nobody will buy anything from it. I've done that lots of times. I remember, huh? I might punch a hole through this one, but except for this has glass on it. Oh, yeah. That's not smart. No, I will not punch a hole in that one. I've punched glass before, and my hand got cut. So in any case, does everybody, this passed out? So let me basically explain this. And do we have this as a PDF for the people in the live stream? We do? Okay. So everybody on the live stream, you can open this up in a new window and you can look at it. So this basically explains majority of our funnel. It explains what each product is for, what each part in the Fast Start process is for, and what the purpose of it is. And if you guys understand the purpose of all this stuff, you're going to be more apt to be able to utilize it effectively. And if you understand how I sell stuff, right, and how easy it is to plan this stuff, you're going to be able to sell more stuff, right? So it's going to be valuable even for making videos that you put on YouTube, for making videos that you put on Facebook, and things like that. And I think it'll help everybody in this room too. Because a big problem, and we were talking about this actually in the Leadership Council, is we got a hangout and it's the leaders were like, who are we really? You know what I mean? It's like nobody really understands. And I was like, well, I understand it. Maybe I should explain this sometime. That might be helpful to everyone. And so in any case, all right, so what we've got, number one, we've got a core upsell sequence. Now, this is what people go through when they come in and they buy an entry point in Empower, right? Let me explain actually how this works. What happens is somebody buys a trial, right? Could be a trial. It could be a full price point. We just have lots of ways of we actually have a few ways of bringing people in that people do out there. And then what happens is everybody gets inserted into the same upsell sequence that basically goes to the next product in the funnel that they don't have, right? So we actually do have some people that sell directly into packages where people have the blog and the Inner Circle, and those people would jump right to the Top Producer Formula sales video. So whatever the next product is that people don't have, they jump to a sales video for that product, right? So when somebody comes in on trial, they go to the Inner Circle sales video. Now, this process between the upsell and the downsell converts I don't know, it's 15 or 20% right there, but we wind up with somewhere between 21 and 25% of people end up buying the Inner Circle right now. It's actually as good or better than old Empower Network numbers. We were never above that anytime in Empower Network across the whole company. And so after they buy or don't buy the Inner Circle, it jumps to the Top Producer Formula product. Okay, if they buy or don't buy, it goes to the Team Builder Formula product, right? And then if they buy or don't buy, it goes to the Mass Influence Formula product. Now, I actually think this is the process we started with. I actually don't think this is totally the best, most optimal funnel, because I think most people are not going to buy $5,000 in products sitting there watching endless amounts of videos when they first start, right? So I think it would actually probably be better, but we're going to test it. This is up right now, right? Because the leaders said, let's put a funnel back the way that it was, right? So we put it back the way that it was. We're testing all of it. We find that people do kind of buy up to here at certain ratios, but then past this point, people don't really buy in the funnel. They just don't. They buy later, right? So we'll keep messing with that. But in any case, each of these videos has one purpose, and that's to sell this product based on what that product is. Now, who in here has actually seen all these sales videos that we have?
The new ones that you're
The new ones that are up. You guys have not seen them? Okay. I made some like 2 weeks ago, and then I made an alternate version of them. The alternate version converted better, so probably barely anybody in here has even seen the alternate version, right? But those are the ones that are playing right now because they converted anywhere from like 30% to 200% better than the old ones, right? So who in here noticed the upsells went up about 2 weeks ago? They started going up. They did across the whole company, but not everybody's running lots of people through, right? But those are going to start going up a lot from the fast start process. So anyways, once people go through this process, here's actually what happens most of the time is they say yes or no here. 20% or so say yes. Then they say usually, no, no, and no. And then they get to the back office, right? Once they get to the back office, right, what happens is they go through the fast start process we described earlier, right? Which the goal of that fast start process is to get them oriented into how our business works, all right? Because people especially with like higher priced products, people tend not to buy them until they understand like why and what it's for and why they need it, and they think about it for a few days. Normally, it is not common for people to pull out their credit card and spend $5,000 the first time they see something all the way through a funnel. There might be 1 in 10,000 people that does it, right? You guys have that happen very often? Probably not. No. So that's not really how we get upsells, right? So then what happens after they say yes or no is they go into the members area, and this is what happens. A welcome video automatically starts to play. You guys can all see that video, right? If you just log into the back office and you click play, it's still there, right? But when they log in the first time, it takes up the whole screen and just automatically plays and the whole screen darkens out, right? And basically, that video is also a sales pitch, but it's not to buy anything. That video is a pitch, and the goal of that pitch, the conversion goal, is to get people to go through the fast start training in their first 24 hours, right? So every part of the process, everything we do has a specific purpose and a specific goal, right? So if we're going to aid in this process in some way, then what do we do to help the welcome video? We create things that make people also want to go through the fast start process. For example, we have a place you can put a sponsor's message, right, in the funnel, right? You can put your sponsor's message, you can put a video there, and if you just made a video that basically repeated what's in the welcome video, right, that would make that process more effective, right? Now, some people will get in there and they'll just ramble on and on and on and on and like, mess it up, Yeah, like I just got in power and blah, 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 right? But if you just say, hey, welcome to the team, tell them your story, and say, when I first got started, there's things all over the internet. I found this. This is my, this is where I'm focused on making money. This is the results that I've created. If you've created results, and I will work with you if you really want to work with the team, but only if you're serious about your business. Here's how you're going to show me that you're serious. Right above this video, you see a welcome video. I want to make sure you watch that entire welcome video. If you clicked away from it when you first logged in, watch the whole thing. Number 2, go through the fast start training and complete all of the videos. No skipping around. I won't work with anyone who skips around, right? Number 3, download the core checklist and re-upload it back to the site. And then after you do that, I actually have my Skype contact information right here below this video, and you can actually just hit me up on Skype, or you can give me a call. And if you've completed those steps and have uploaded your form, I'll work with you and help you hit your goals, as long as you do it in the next 24 hours. So if you just basically repeat what's in the welcome video, you help the welcome video. So what's the goal here? The goal of the welcome video is to get them through the fast start in 24 hours. Why is it urgent to get people through that in 24 hours? Who in here? Let's get a microphone, actually. We have one here? Yep. Yeah. Why is it urgent? But 24 hours, why is it urgent to get them through that fast?
To set the stage for their mindset so that we can upsell them easier on the upsells.
Yep, that's one reason. Why else? Tracy? And you can pass it to Mike after you're done.
Okay, to get people into action as soon as possible so that they're in the right momentum stage.
Okay, to get people into action as soon as possible. Mike?
To kind of mirror Tracy, to get people into profit as soon as possible, to get people getting their business up and running, to get into that action and earning money.
Okay, good stuff. Who else? Let's pass the Oh, they got a microphone over there, so we'll keep this one over here.
Yeah, they were already in action, so keeping them in action.
Yeah, so they got in action, keeping them in action, right? Why else? Anybody else?
Filter out the lazy.
To filter out lazy people,
Yeah.
right? So that's a good one. To filter out people that it's pointless to spend time with, right? Is there any use in spending time working with someone who's not willing to follow the steps? No.
No.
There's no point in it. If they won't do that, they're not going to succeed until they do it. So you just say, sorry, go do the steps, and then I'll work with you.
Immersion is critical in any business. If you don't immerse yourself in the community, you have a hard time getting involved. They don't get to know you. They don't get to hear your spirit. They don't hear the company. They don't get on the Monday night call. They don't get on your team call. Then they're not on the Wednesday call. Pretty soon a week's gone, and they're not involved, and they're quitting.
Exactly. So we're orienting them into the culture, getting them into immersed. You know, the Mormons teach that, baptism by immersion, right? We're just doing that too, but with the culture. I actually was thinking about getting a baptismal font up here, and I'll baptize you if you'll follow the 8 core commitments. The
Empower Water.
Huh?
The Empower Water. Hey, I got a question. When they used to watch the sequence of videos, it would let us know. It would say, hey, Dave Wood has watched sequence 1 video. Is that going to happen again when they go through
We will
this
make
series?
to use it, right? Because if we just sell it and nobody uses it, do they keep it? No, right? But if we sell it and they use it, they keep it for actually quite some time, right? People like the inner circle. Like if you read actually the reviews on our products, right, especially as we'll leave the comments there, I've had so many people that have weird stories with the inner circle, it's unbelievable, right? Like I'll just take some random audio and tell somebody to listen to it for 30 days, and they'll be like, that totally changed my life, and I had all this amazing stuff happen. We got we got like placebo effect out the wazoo in that product. It's great, right? But also, right, if you listen to audio in your downtime and you get your team doing it, what effect does that have on your team? Okay, I want to kind of frame I want you guys to understand what the purpose of the inner circle is and why you need your team actually listening to it. Who in here knows what the inner circle has effect on your team? Let's pass the microphone around again. We got a microphone we could pass. Chad, back there.
Today, is it working?
Hello. I think so, yeah.
All right. So it's going to sell the next event.
So it's selling them to get to live events, it's upselling them, and it's keeping them around, and it's upselling them all at the same time and getting them to take action on the things that they need to do. So it's doing all the inner circle is meant to do all those things.
Okay, so it's upselling them. Okay, what else? And it's doing things at the same time. Who else raised their hand? Okay.
Giving them a chance to be around successful people, spend time, about an hour a day, around
so they
6 and
get
7
to
figure
listen
earners.
to people that are succeeding, right? And what happens if you listen to people succeeding?
Become more
the
like
patterns
them.
rub off, the thinking rubs off, right? The speech patterns rub off, and how you speak actually matters if you're selling things, right?
I think listening to the inner circle teaches people another language, like going from employee to entrepreneur. When you listen to everybody on the audios, you start talking and thinking like them.
All right, exactly. You start talking and thinking like people that are actually succeeding. You can write in the comments if you're on the live stream what the purpose of it is.
The number one thing I think it does is raises your belief level, and knowing that you can do it when you hear where people have come from, because sometimes they think, oh, well, they were just really good to begin with, but then you hear the story of the triumph that they had to get through to get where they are,
Yeah.
and that their stories are probably far worse than the people that are listening, and it raises the belief level of I can do it too because they did it.
So who in here thinks that actually those stories are more important to people than the facts that they actually learned? Who in here thinks that, right? Actually, the only thing I remember from Amway, this is 14 years ago. I've been doing this a long time. 14 years ago, the only thing I remember is all those crazy stories. And I remember like all of them. They come out like when I'm talking and stuff. I'm amazed at how much of that stuff I remember. But it's because it was stories. Your brain just remembers stories. I could explain why.
This is actually similar to what you were saying, but when a person is listening to a story and they're taken on a journey, it's like a change of state. It's like an emotional roller coaster. And when you can change a person's state like that, puts them into a different belief level, it changes their perception of the reality, and it puts them into a buying cycle, really. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, and it does, and it warms them up to the rest of the products, too. Like, if people actually listen to the Inner Circle, it's very rare that someone could listen to the Inner Circle for, like, 3 months without going all in eventually. They just have to do it. Why? Because they realize what it is that we do and why we do it and how cool everybody is.
Yeah, with respect to old school, think big, T big. If you put T big down on the board, TBIG, tapes, books, involvement, and goals.
Yeah.
T big. And what it does is it feeds your subconscious mind. You could be listening to an audio, and you could almost forget what was said if you listen to it for an hour. Say you're driving for an hour or something, but the subconscious mind has just been fed the information that you need to actually change yourself subconsciously. So it feeds your mind to change you to that positive person that we want everyone to rise to in order to own all the products and then duplicate the system.
Right, and just on that, what influences the subconscious mind? Well, everything does. But what's one of the most common, most powerful ways to influence it is metaphors, right? Which are basically stories, because your mind just attaches meaning to things, right? So like let's say you're in a down state, like Will was just talking about a state, right? And you're really like depressed and down in a pit, and then you listen to an audio of a rags to riches story, right? Well, the person goes through their story about how they were down in the pit, depressed, right? And they got out of it, and now they accomplished this, and this depression was necessary for this. And then what happens is, without even thinking, automatically, they start to believe that they're going to come out of it. And then what happens? They come out of it, right? We've had people like put down guns and not commit suicide from listening to the Inner Circle. Well, actually, a lot of people. Like, you'd be surprised how many times I've heard that story. I've heard that story probably at least 50 times. Those are people who have told me, right? So people like will listen to the Inner Circle and not kill themselves. That's cool, right? But it's not just that. It's like if your marketing's not working, right, and you feel like you're doing everything you can, and then you hear an audio and it's like somebody's like, yeah, I marketed and like for 2 years, nothing happened. And then I just learned this one key, and then they tell their story through it. You're like, well, I just need to learn one thing, and they keep going. Here's the thing. In order to get people to a breakthrough in masses, you got to keep them around long enough, right? Otherwise, they're not going to have a breakthrough. They just won't, right? Because if we don't get good on educating people, influencing them, what happens is they leave before they ever really get a chance to succeed, right? Like, think about it like this. I was on the internet. I almost quit literally the month before I broke through. You know what I mean? All the time people quit a month before they would have broken through. Yeah, almost every time, because you always go through this bottoming out phase, usually, and this is just so common. I think it's how people are wired. It's like they don't want to change so much until like life makes them. You know what I mean? So they get this bottoming out phase, and then they just explode into action, or they break down. Right? Well, if they're around information that helps them break out, they're going to stay in long enough to experience that breakthrough. Right? Who in here, question, right? And this will be good for the audience online too. Who in here had a point before you started generating some income where you bottomed out and you almost quit? Right? Truthfully. Right? Yeah. And then we got some liars. Right? So yeah, you know what I mean? It's like that with everybody is the thing, and people don't know that. Everybody thinks their issues are their own unique issues, right? Until you tell your story, and like everybody's like, yeah, I'm going through that same thing as you. You know what I mean? You know? I mean, I had no clue how many people had been in psychotic relationships before.
Until last night.
Yeah. Well, no, I kind of knew, you know. Tracy, Aaron, and myself formed this trio here. You know, don't let your imagination run wild. Right. So in any case, right, you know, yeah, it's just one of these things you learn. You could be like really great over here and just retarded over in this other area, you know. It's like I got to stop doing that. All right. So in any case, right, the inner circle is not just important. Now here's the other thing, okay? You cannot do with your people what getting them to listening to daily audio will do. It is impossible for you to do. Not only would you fail if you tried it, right? But it would take all your time and it still wouldn't be as effective, right? Do you have time to talk to your downline, every one of them, an hour a day? No, you don't. Do they have time to talk to their people an hour a day? Nope. If you talk to them an hour a day, would they get motivated? Nope. They would actually think, like, what's wrong with this person is probably what they'd think, right? Like, after a while, they'd be like, leave me alone, right? So you can't create the effect that listening to those audios can create. Look, here's the thing. If we get everybody together, and all of us doing it, listening to audios in the inner circle, just putting on your downtime, right? What's going to happen when we turn on sales for an event? Everybody will just buy their tickets. Why? Because they're going to be thinking about it all the time, right? That's why if we put in, like, for example, this stuff is all important, the way the culture feeds itself, right? Like if we put in the core commitment videos, the actual number to the Monday night call, and we make people save it in their phone and then sign a checklist saying they'll attend and put it on their wall, how much less hard do we need to promote Monday calls, right? Now, not everybody who signs that is actually going to do what they say. People are like that, right? But they have it right there on their wall, the number. They have a reminder in their phone to call. We used to never have to promote the Monday calls. People would just show up, like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people a week, right? That's where we'll be again, starting this next week, right? So the inner circle is important because it feeds the culture, and it does what you as the leaders can't do, right? Top producer formula, let's go to that. What is the purpose of the top producer formula product in our funnel? Where does it fit in both to our funnel from a value perspective, and also who is this serving? What market is this serving? Okay, and why is that product valuable to that market? Let's just get some microphones passed around. Back there, Desmond.
It's what every salesperson needs. It's really, it really addresses a lot of a really wide market. So people in network marketing, people in direct sales, just any salesperson in any kind of company, even if you're selling cars and stuff, the top producer formula helps any person needing to accomplish sales for commissions to really hit those numbers every month. And it gives them many different ideas, different angles they can go with. I've even used it with clients that like are doctors, dentists, and they've used it to increase their sales.
Yeah, well, over in Portugal, he's actually selling our products to small businesses, right? And hitting diamonds like that every month. Yeah.
So top producer, it gets you through that grinding part of your business, right? Because everybody has to get in. They have to like just kind of do that hand-to-hand combat like before they can really get big leverage and a lot of traffic coming. They just have to, get through and be able to just kind of build relationships and get people in and then get them upsell and like really do that like hand-to-hand stuff.
Right.
That's what I think the top producer is best for.
Okay, what else? Mike, here.
I'll just make it easy. It gives you balls, basically. It gives you what you need to. It gives you the tools because, like, I
actually like that as a tagline. The top producer formula gives you balls.
No, because we came from knowing none of this at all, and it really just put us on the map for like what to do with people. So it's a great product.
Awesome. What else?
So the majority of our sales, company history-wide, a lot of it's come through webinars, and no one teaches that in the direct sales, network marketing space. And there's a really good checklist in the top producer formula that people should print out and actually follow.
Yeah.
And if you just do that and build a list and then promote through a webinar, even if it's like once a quarter, I mean, you're going to generate sales.
Yeah, exactly. All these videos we will make will follow the formula in the top producer formula. So people are like, how are you doing that so quick? It's because I'm just following through a checklist in my brain on how to sell stuff. Anybody else?
It helps you coach new members.
New member coaching, right? One of the core commitments is new member coaching, right? And so if people want to learn how to do that, we actually have scripts in the Top Producer Formula that help people learn to do upsells with new team members, right? In any company they're in. And they can do that with anything they're in. Yeah. Can you give her a microphone, please? Oh. Just giving you running practice.
I always, when I congratulate people on buying Top Producer, I always say, this could quite possibly be my favorite product, because to me, it very quickly eliminates all of the stupid stuff we're tempted to do because we think that's what we're supposed to do. It does such a great job at just shutting down the brilliant ideas that we get as entrepreneurs that aren't going to work and aren't going to be effective, and replaces them, supplants them completely with effective strategies.
Exactly, right? And you guys have been in the industry for a long time, right? And they've given me feedback on they learn stuff that they've never known before.
Fact.
You know? And so that product will dramatically increase people's results. It's how the information in that is how I out-sponsored everyone in everything that I was ever in before I started Empower Network, right? Anything else? Sure. It's got me a Red Bull. Thank you.
Yeah, but it's different.
The blue edition. That means maybe it has more caffeine in it.
It's the Mormon edition.
The Mormon edition? Caffeine free? Oh. All right. Anything? Just a little asterisk, not against the word of wisdom, right? For Mormon-friendly Red Bull, right? It's actually on there. I'm joking. So anything else? Right? So not only is this, it serves a big market, right? Because if people in the internet space knew how to do that, they would make more money, right? Selling their products. If network marketers knew how to do that, they would recruit more of the people they prospect, right? If people doing any form of marketing online knew how to do that stuff, it's going to help them sell more stuff and make more money. Because ultimately, how do we make money if we're selling things? When sales are made, right? It's like the people all the time in network marketing say, it's not selling, it's sharing. It's like, well, excuse me, I think when somebody buys something, you say they got sold a product, you know what I mean? You know, I think that when you bought it, you actually pulled a credit card out. You know, we don't just pass our products around for free and share them with everybody with no purchasing happening. It's the direct selling association, not the direct sharing organization for all the nice people who like to share things and make no money, right? People generally say that because they're not confident about selling. And why aren't they confident? And this goes important to this product. They're not confident because they're taking the push-through approach to selling rather than the diagnosis and prescription approach to selling, right? And that's what the Top Producer Formula teaches. Because if I try to push my product onto somebody who doesn't want it based on what I think is right for them, right? Well, what effect is that going to have? It's going to push them away. And what do we have in our brain when we think about that? The used car salesman, and some used car salesmen actually are really good at don't do this, right? But it's like the metaphor. He's got the greasy hair, and he's like, hello, today you will buy a car from me. You know what I mean? And you're like, you get scared and you want to run. That is not effective selling. Effective selling is you're asking questions, you find a need or want, you get to a core desire, and you prescribe a solution based on their resources they have available and based on what you have available to sell. And if you don't have something available, you refer them to elsewhere. Right? It is ethical selling, right? Does that make sense to you guys? So that's the purpose of this product. You can see why you'd want all your teams to buy it, right? So if your team buys this, are they going to duplicate more or less? More. Right? And they're going to make more money, right? Therefore, if we're effective at selling it and we get people using it, not just buying it, but using it, they're going to be more effective, stay in for longer, get better results with the people they bring in. You think if people are bringing trials in and they're actually doing this stuff that we teach in here, they'll make more money? Who in here thinks so? Yes, right? So that we do it, we need effective parts. So that's the purpose of that product. Flip to the next one, Team Builder Formula. What's the purpose of the Team Builder Formula? Let's pass microphone around. We got less people who know on this one. Justin.
The title gives it all away. Building a successful team and organization.
Okay. What else?
You're building your team and having a life at the same time.
Something not found in other places in network marketing, if you're honest, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I often congratulate people by saying, this could quite possibly be my favorite product because this is where the time freedom happens.
Yeah. Okay, what else?
Being able to multiply your efforts.
Being able to multiply
Working
your
less
efforts.
and doing more, essentially.
Working less and enjoying
Or making
more,
more.
right? Anybody else? So see, some people are confused on this one. It's a little bit slower with the hands going up, right? So we need to educate people.
Gives you strategies on how you can actually build a team and what to do, how to place people in certain areas, as in, making like a group or something you can actually put your team in so you guys can connect and build and grow together, and other strategies as well.
Right. Helps you build a team. What else?
It helps you basically educate people how to work with their teams, so that you are effective and powerful leader.
Educates people on how to work with their teams, right? What else?
It actually maximizes our comp plan.
It begins to do that, yes. What else?
How to build your team and keep your team together with culture.
Right, how to keep the team together as a culture, right? I go through culture systems and sales systems, right, and the difference between the two, right? What else?
Different filters to run your processes through to kind of save you time, or to know, the thing for me was whether it duplicates or makes your life worse, or better.
Yeah, it's like people like they start a process not ever thinking about what if it works, right? And what effect will this create, Seriously, like what if this works? What effect will it create? Well, a three-way call turns into unlimited calls, right? Immediately. And it's not that it necessarily doesn't work. It works great, but you could do a 50-way call, right, and accomplish the same thing in 1 hour a day and with 50 people at once rather than being on the phone all day. You know what I mean? So what else?
And ways to do it online.
Yeah,
I
ways
never
to do
learned
things
that
online.
before here.
Yeah. It sets the stage for that person who's thinking, I need to bring somebody in the business. I need to add another affiliate to my business. It expands their mind into knowing that, no, not affiliate, affiliates. Through your efforts and the combined efforts of the team that we're going to teach you how to not just manage, but to lead.
Okay, what else? It's fun brainstorming this with y'all, by the way. After we go through all these products, we're going to take an energy break, and then we'll plan the first sales video. Because I can see it's kind of like beginning to, you guys are like getting frustrated with coming up with things with the team building formula. I'll help in a minute. Okay? Anybody else? Okay, so this is my feedback on the team building formula. That product explains how I've grown Empower Network so big. Yeah. So, and the stuff in that is all you really need to know, right, to build a team of hundreds of thousands of people. Really. Yeah. And you can't build a big team without trapping yourself, without knowing that stuff. So a lot of times people come in, they start recruiting, and they trap all their time in a never-ending process, right? And it's because they don't know that stuff, right? You guys all need to go through it. And the thing is with that, who can we sell that to, right? Network marketers. Who else would that be effective for? Anybody running any kind of volunteer organization, right? Why? Network marketing builds exactly the same as churches. Because you're building groups of people that come and go whenever they want. You know what I mean? If people want to stop going to church, they just stop going, right? If somebody wants to leave network marketing, they just leave. You can't force them to be around, right? So eventually I'm going to add an internal team section to that product to talk about how to build companies too. But for now, that's what it's for. It shows you how to build big teams of people that are there because they want to be there, right? That there is useful. No. Who thinks that's useful? Okay, so that's the team builder formula, right? Will your team make more or less money if they use the information in this product? More money, right? Okay. Mass influence formula. So, right, what's the purpose of this product and where does it fit in to what we do?
Is this one working? Perhaps my favorite product And those of you on the live stream, you need to get this right now, because what the mass influence formula does, and frankly, Dave, we might want to think about having a non-compete sign before you get it. Here's why. Mass influence takes those two other formulas that you master, and then it makes you famous. Not only do you get famous, then you go to another company, or you create your own information product, or you do all sorts of other stuff. You can make millions with a mass influence formula because it's about you as a leader yourself. It's not about the team anymore. It's not about our business anymore. It's taken you to levels beyond. It's exactly what you've done personally, which is why you've sold more and recruited more than anybody in the industry. It's really the mass influence. So anybody that wants to be like Dave,
well, there is a
that's what you got to get.
Until the end of the last day of the month at midnight Eastern time. I think there's a countdown timer on the page.
Yeah. Also, my favorite product, because like to hit diamond, I feel like you need the information in that product. You need to learn how to like become like an internet celebrity. I know we started in Power. We didn't really have any influence, or not much at all. Not much, I should say.
Yeah, pretty much none.
Pretty much none. Rounding. But this product, it taught us how to attract people. I'm big into the law of attraction marketing. And I feel because of this knowledge, we can sponsor 10, 20 people a day. And it's kind of easy because we understand the formula. So it's my desire to get my team to get this product because I know they have all the tools necessary to really, create change in the world or create a difference. I like to use my influence to knowledge people, help people expand their consciousness. And if I didn't have influence, less people would listen to me, and I wouldn't be able to, change the world, change consciousness. So definitely the most important one, if you're serious and you want to hit gold, platinum, or diamond, don't even think about it. Just get the product and become a product of the product. That's what we do.
Awesome. So what else? What we got? Mike?
It basically makes you aware of the language patterns that we all use and how you can capitalize and speak properly to people. For me, I watched it 3 times in 1 week, and I was like, whoa, I can actually talk way better. And even if I wasn't paying attention to it, it was still going in the background. And the next day I was talking, I kind of sound like you on video. And I was like, oh, cool, I'm kind of excited. I can do this, It gives you that ability to talk better and to just use different things and different ways of speaking and being.
Yeah, it enhances the way you communicate through words.
Yeah, it shows you how to believe in people powerfully, and also teaches you how to become a powerful communicator so that you can really create massive influence. Yeah, that's the name of the product. I listened to it many times.
Yeah. Awesome. Over to Rui?
Yeah, for me it's like language engineering. I see
language engineering.
Yeah,
okay.
I see like architecture. It's beautiful, and you can actually see how language works. And it's a productivity tool. With the same amount of work, we have much more results because you're gonna send out the same email, you're gonna speak to the same people, but the level of connection you can make with these people, the same amount of work, the results are incredibly bigger. So it's also a productivity tool and very, very, very effective.
Yeah, awesome. So I think that's good enough for now, right? You'd see. Oh, is there somebody over here? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, one more. Come on.
Well, this is quite possibly my favorite product. Actually, Top Producer is my favorite product because I like the name. Producer just is kind of cool. But I get caught up in the production. I get caught up in the end game, and I have an issue with the industry and all this talk about self-branding and. To me, it's all ego-driven because who the heck are you? What do you got to brand? You haven't done anything, first of all. And if you weren't teamed up with somebody I could have never branded myself in the car business without Chevrolet. It was nonsensical to think somebody was going to Google Rob Skinner to buy a car. They were going to Google Chevrolet, and if I was around selling Chevrolets, they would come to me, and if I performed, they would buy, right?
Right.
So this product has helped me recognize how people hear me. That's the biggest thing it's done for me. I'm starting to hear myself and how I sound on the other end of the microphone. I'm starting to see the flaws and where my ego is slipping in and taking over, and my writing has changed. My speech pattern has changed. And even though we're not mirroring so much, I'm not sitting in front of you leaning when you're leaning and doing all those things we were taught 45 years ago before some of you were born. I'm learning how to see how my even today when we wrote and we do videos, how differently we're communicating. I think Paul has recognized a huge change in me in 6 months, and how we've evolved with this product. And to me, it's a never-ending product. Every time I sit down and make myself listen to it, it's like a new product to me.
Yeah.
It's like a living document. It grows with me.
Just like the Book of Mormon.
Very much. By the way, we have Mormon book. If anybody would like a little blue book. Oh my gosh.
All right. That was awesome. All right, so so the mass influence formula, right, is it teaches you influence. It's the way that you're going to make the other things that you're create results that appear magical with people. Right? Does that make sense? And so it's taking a step beyond just building to like a form where people around it, they don't really understand. I think people kind of look at me and just kind of write me off as an enigma sometimes, and like it's just like I don't get what's going on. Yeah. Or they Justin Varangea, they look at him and they're like, what's going on? You know what I mean? But it's because he knows how to create those results. So that's where that fits in from a product perspective. Now, from an income perspective, where does this fit in, right? Well, the trial drives people in to Kalatu Premium, right, which is $97 a month, right, and the Inner Circle, which is $100 a month, right? And so at any of the ranks, any of them, right, that are really from around Boss Maker Silver and above, this here is going to be 30 to 50% of your income. Okay? So this is really important because these are the things that are coming in every month sustainably, right? And from an income perspective, from a business model perspective for your team, where do these other products fit in? Well, what is the income range somebody could make for the top producer formula sold full price at $500? 30 to 60% at the top, right? So 30% of it is $150, right? So $150 to $300 one-time purchase, okay? That's the range, right? If somebody can earn right from the get-go $150 commissions from that, will it increase their income? Yes. Are they going to be able to sell it effectively if they don't have it? No, they won't. Team Builder formula, what's the income range? Right? I'm talking like without being, like, well, it goes from 300 to 600, 300 to 600, right? $300, $600, right, that you could earn. Then there's some of the other money is paid out in depth, right? That's why I'm not writing out the full 70%, because you'd be earning second generation overrides in 2 places at the top rank. So if you're diamond, there's a 5% generation override on the next diamond down line. And if you're Boss Maker Silver, you earn a 5% override on the second generation of that. So those percentages are for second generations, right? So on the mass influence formula, what's the income range? 30 to 60%. So 30% of 3,500. I can't. 1,050? Okay, so 1,050. Okay, to $2,100. Right? So if somebody comes through and you're at the top rank, what would that be? That would be $3,000 or $3,000 between all three. Right? So from a building perspective, right, we need to educate people on the value of that. Like we did a product a long time ago called High Ticket Academy, right, that was solely focused on why high ticket income can change your business. Because if you don't have access to high ticket income, right, from selling things that cost more, you're just missing a big section of your team that spend that money anyways elsewhere. And they're usually not getting good information, and a lot of times they buy things from people that don't even deliver. Now, sometimes they buy good things, right? But a lot of times they actually get screwed online, right? Who in here has spent a lot of money with somebody and had them just not deliver before, right? That happens a lot of the time. So we can actually give them the education that they need in their business, right? From an education standpoint, from an income perspective, right? On even the bottom level, right? We've got $1,350, $1,400, $1,500 in one-time purchase income if they're not qualified at any rank, right, at the beginning. So if they have no rank and they're not bringing lots of people in, they're not even a boss, they can make $1,500 from a single sale. Does it make sense to everybody in here? And you as their leaders, when you guys are at the ranks, those of you who are watching the live stream, when you're helping your team make sales, you're going to make the difference between your rank and their rank. So if you're helping a new person get started, right, and you're earning $3,000 per sale at the top, and you help them make a sale and help them earn $1,500, you're also going to earn $1,500, right? And that'll go down to the next person all the way down too, like I explained earlier when I was talking about the comp plan. So what does that allow you to do is the important thing, right? And this goes back into just making sure our community is educated on it, right? What do we teach in the 8 core commitments? Market daily, which is the commitment is taking a percentage, a fixed percentage of the commissions you generate, not your income from other sources, unless you've got expendable cash, that's fine, but taking a fixed amount of the income you generate and reinvesting it back into paid advertising and learning how to generate more traffic, right? So if you can make $3,000 in a day, right, you can generate tons more traffic and build your residual income way faster from a business perspective. It's the difference between being able to hit $10,000 in a month in 60 days or being able to hit it in 3 years, right, without high ticket income. Does that make sense to you guys from a business model, right? So a lot of people when they come in, they don't know that, and it's not, we're not making them buy a product to get a commission. They can sell their way in, right? But they're not likely to sell those products. If they don't have them, they're not going to be convincing, they're not going to know what's in them, and the products themselves actually teach people how to do these things. Right? Does that make sense to everybody in here? Yes. So that's actually where our products fit into the grand scheme of things. Everybody understand a little bit better who we sell to, how we sell, what our products offer from the feedback in the room and what we've talked about. Everybody here got a little bit better? Right? Hopefully the live stream too. Right? A lot of this is like the leaders are like, come on, Dave, get to good stuff. Right? Now I'm going to cover these ones more quickly, right? Because I just made these videos and everybody has been through the new videos, and that's the 8 core commitment sequence, right? Who in here knows where I got the 8 core commitments from? Amway, right? Now most people would lie about that, right? I'd just rather tell you I got it from Amway, right? Except for I replaced a few of them because we're marketing differently. Right? Like they say, one of their commitments is show the plan, right? I don't really want you guys driving around with a whiteboard, right? You can, if you want, you know. You can actually join Amway and do that. We're actually maybe joining that tomorrow, but I'm not going to tell you for sure. That might have something to do with Project Titan. No. I'm joking. All right, so there's somebody who's going to think I'm serious with all this stuff, right? But I mean, Amway can't get mad at me because I edify them all the time. I think they're the most badass company ever. All right, so except for a little dorky maybe. So the 8 core commitments, right? Purpose of the welcome video, to get them to go through the 8 core commitments. We covered that, right? Core commitment number 1, be a product of the product. The purpose is to get them to not just buy the products, but to use them and to create stories with them so they can learn to sell them, right? In every company, actually, they'll tell you to be a product of the product, right? If you're in Visalis, you want to lose weight doing the P90X and taking the shakes and make a testimonial video and put half-nude photos on Facebook before and after, right? That's being a product of the product. Actually, that's the only thing that will make a person that does not look good with their clothes off post photos on Facebook for everyone to see, right? If you ever see that happening, you know they are in an MLM company, right? Everybody else, they put their clothes on if they look like that on Facebook, right? But then 90 days later, they're like looking like the Hulk, you know what I mean? Maybe slip a few use steroids in, but they don't tell that in the testimonial video, right? So they got to enhance the product experience, right? So core commitment number 2, blog daily, right? Now, create content daily, blog daily. Why is this a core commitment? Because this is our version of long-term prospecting. That make sense to everybody in here? So a normal network marketing company, they walk around and prospect, right? We blog. Takes less time, works long-term, actually builds to where you have more people coming into your prospect funnel than talking to people ever could, and it actually takes less work as time goes by, right? If you do it every day. So that's our version of long-term prospecting, blogging, social syndication, things like that, right? So it's actually, the purpose is to get them to blog and use the product. And if people use the blog, they're less likely to cancel it. If they keep it, right, your residual income is going to go up. So if we get people focused on blogging, too, as a community, also, and this is from a leadership perspective, when people quit, you inherit their traffic and their leads and stuff. That's like cheating. It's so good. Core commitment number 3, market daily. What's the purpose of this? Teach people to run a business, right? And if they do it, to teach them that paid marketing, too, is not a lottery, right? How many people have had somebody in your team, or you've done it, where they've just gone and bought $10,000 in solo ads, and that really what they're doing is it's a lottery for them. They're doing math in their brain, and they're like, push a button and buy, you know what I mean? 10,000. And the truth is, you got to know what you're doing with solo ads, or it doesn't work at all, right? So if we educate people right in the beginning, we save them money, and send them to resources where they actually can learn that. For example, if people buy the team building formula, we've got the bonus videos he's done on solo ads. That's pretty much what he uses to sponsor 10 to 20 people a day, right? So, right, once again, new member coaching. Purpose of that is to do 2 things. Number 1, to get the person to commit to do new member coachings with people. And number 2, to get them to do the new member coaching with their sponsor. Now, this will eventually end up hassling some sponsors who don't want phone calls from their team. Too bad. Right? Aaron Raskin had a great suggestion. He said, Dave, you need to put in there to hassle your sponsor until they do the new member coaching. That was a great suggestion. And the people that eventually they work their way out of it, they can have somebody who does it. You know what I mean? If you're bringing a lot of people or you're outsourcing, you've had people do that really effectively. Right? And then you can work in a strategy with that as a leader eventually, but not when you're new. Do not do this when you're new, right? Where you can have it so people only talk to you after they get all in. If you're bringing in too many people to work with everyone, right? So that is an option, but the new member coaching has to happen or we're missing like half the income that's going to be generated, right? So daily audio, what's the purpose of that video? To tell them, to get them to commit to listen to the Inner Circle every day. And to do that, they have to buy the Inner Circle if they don't have it, right? And to teach them what the Inner Circle's for, right? What does that do? It keeps the culture around. Read daily. Like, what does this have to do with anything? Well, you need blog content from somewhere, right? And you need to feed your mind. So why not do both at the same time, right? We were talking about that the other day because it's better if you read with the intention of teaching, you learn more, right? And if we get people doing that as a pattern, it changes people's lives. Has reading changed your life? Who in here has had your life changed from reading? Right? Everybody who does it. Leaders are readers. And if we program people to read, they grow, and they also want to stick around the community. These things make people want to stick around because it starts changing them. Right? And they get more value than just the value of an income opportunity. They get more value than just the value of buying a product if they do these things. This changes people. This is how we change people over time. This is what gets people to stick around is because they're growing. Right? If we don't grow people, they will not stick around. That makes sense? Who in here wants to be around an environment where you're growing all the time? Right? Now, the only thing, we don't have a product for this, so I almost want to just make a, book of the month club or something, so we have an upsell there. But, we'd probably make a recommended reading list, too, with books with the leaders sometime in the next little bit, too. That, I think, would be helpful for people. Right? Core commitment 7, right? We want them to attend the Empower Network call every Monday. Now, why do we want people to do that is the question. We didn't talk about this in the sales videos. Why do we want people attending those calls each Monday? Who in here knows? You just shout out, I'll repeat it.
Increases their chance of success.
Increases their chance of success, right? Why else?
Go.
And to keep them engaged.
To keep them engaged, right? Why else?
Make them feel like they're part of something.
Make them feel like they're part of something. Why else?
Consistency.
Consistency. Why else?
Help them change to
Help.
produce the results they want.
To produce the results they want. Why else, Paul?
Because churches have a weekly live event.
Yeah, churches has a weekly live event, right? We're just another strategy I borrowed from Jesus, you know. Why else?
Communicate the vision.
Communicate the vision, right? How often do people need to be re-inspired with vision?
All the time.
All the time. Now, here's the thing. If we don't get them to do that every week, can you as a sponsor have the same effect that them getting on a call can have? No. Because, I mean, what are you going to do? Call everybody once a week? Number one? No. Right? Number two, if you do, they might not pick up the phone. Number three, your ear would blow off from cancer if you tried to do that if you sponsor 20 people a day like Michael Martin, right? Next, you'd start being frustrated, and so you wouldn't motivate them anyway because your anger would come through in your voice from being on the phone all day calling people. And the next thing is they need to hear other people's stories and to see that the whole community works together, right? Because we've had a lot of people, they've come into Empower, and they do things like they want to separate themselves from the culture and just do their thing over here and keep everybody separate from the culture. Right? Now, I'm just going to tell you that will make you less rich. Right? Why? Because you can't have the effect a massive culture can have. You just can't do it. Or you don't have the ability to do it. Right? So we need to work together for that. Now, if we get people to commit to it right away, then we don't have to convince them to show up to the calls. Right? And then just if they come and talk to you and they ask you a question, why isn't something working? You say, are you following the 8 core commitments? And if they're like, well, I'm not getting on the calls, you say, well, then attend the calls for the next 3 months and call me back. Right? And then if they call you back 3 months later, they probably won't because they'll attend the calls and be all motivated all the time and go do it on their own. Right? So they go through that. Then they go to an all-in upsell. Right? And why do we introduce that there? It's because then they're educated on what the products are, how much they cost at full price, and what value they serve. So at that point, they've got 6 days left, or however much time left from the time they finish those videos to purchase an all-in bundle. This is how our funnel works right now, right? And the clock is ticking. Who in here thinks that's cool, right? So do you guys understand how to leverage this a little bit better?
Yes.
Okay, you understand it a little bit better? On the live stream, you guys understand it a little bit better? The goal is to help you guys understand. So our purpose is, and this is in pre-framing, okay, we want this to be the core of our business. Now, where else do people enter into the funnel, right? If somebody goes into the back office and they click on Inner Circle and they don't have it, what do they see? Sales video back into the funnel. And if they click on any of the products, back into the funnel. If they buy an event ticket, back into the funnel, right? If they get on a Monday call, we can tell them to log in and click on the tab for the next product they don't own. They'll go right back into the funnel. If you're on a webinar and somebody doesn't have a product, you can actually click on one of the product tabs and tell them to click on it. They're right back into the funnel. If you guys want to know what you can do with the team emailer, if you go to like the Mass Influence Formula page and just copy it, and you email it out in the team emailer, if people click the link and log in, it'll send them straight to the sales video if they don't have it. Make sense? Okay, cool. Let's do maybe a small break and then an energy recap and then make a couple sales videos. I think Will took off, so why don't we take like a 5 or 10 minute break or something? You guys cool with that? Grab some coffee, come back. Thanks for hanging out.